What's good, guys? Welcome to another video, and as you can see from the title of this video, today we're going to be talking about the 10 things that will fundamentally change about you when you choose to hop on a long-term semen retention streak. The reason I want to make this video is because I've been on this journey for 5 years now, more than 5 years actually by now, and I've seen so many things change about myself. And next to that, I truly wanted to see if this practice was real or not, because as many of you guys right now, maybe you're very skeptical about this practice. You might even be like, what even is this? Why would anyone do this? You see? And I thought the same thing back in the day, but I truly wanted to see if this was real. And what I started to see, in fact, after experimenting with infinite weekly, 2-week, monthly, 6 months, 10-month streaks, I did come to see that this practice is real. Let's get into the first point. So the first thing that I've experienced on going on long-term semen retention streaks is that, and this is the main point out of everything, you will fundamentally change as a person. It's like you become a higher part of your own expression. You become, I don't want to say your higher self per se, but you become a higher self than you were back in the day, right? You just tap into certain things you were never aware of back in the day. And this doesn't just happen in one shift. This goes, and this is a process that's going to take years and years and years. But the way you can see semen retention is that it is going to magnify your life. It's going to magnify all the things you need to learn, all your progress, all of these things. So that doesn't mean you can just go from A to Z in one go. It's not like, oh, when you're now on a long-term semen retention streaks, out of nowhere, you become freaking godlike. Doesn't necessarily need to happen. The way I see semen retention, guys, after doing this for 5 years now, is that it just enhances your life in general. You're just naturally tapping into higher states within yourself. You tap into a higher vibration. You vibrate higher. You're able to express yourself at a higher point. So you have your current self, right? When you hop on a long-term semen retention streak, it's like your current self is upgraded. Your emotions are higher. You are embodying a higher state of your current self, a higher expression, a more authentic expression. You naturally just embody that after these streaks. Now, the reason this is happening, guys, is because your sexual energy is vibration. It's actual energy, you see? We can measure energy. What's going to happen when you constantly release it, right? You're wasting the energy away constantly. It's a waste of energy. This energy contains information. This energy contains vibration. This energy contains your life force. If you're constantly throwing it away, it becomes extremely difficult to tap into higher states, to tap into high vibes, to tap into your most authentic self. And I would actually argue it's close to impossible. If you do it several days a week, you're just going to be vibrating from a lower state. And you will in fact notice, especially on long-term semen retention streaks, that you just embody a better version of yourself, and this happens automatically. So the second one, guys, and this is one I've noticed for myself as well, if this is something you truly desire, right, it becomes a lot easier to embody love. What do I mean with that? What I mean with that is that it becomes a lot easier to tap into the love that is already within yourself, to tap into the love you always have access to. Tapping into your own inner fulfillment just becomes easier. Your heart magnifies your heart energy, your love energy. So this has nothing to do with relationships and sexual love. None of that. It's love for yourself and love for everyone else. You just start to become a more loving being, which is a beautiful thing. And if you're into the spiritual side of things, this might not be for everyone, but I'm going to tell you anyway. What happens, guys, is that your sexual energy is also your kundalini energy. What happens if you retain, you start to build up that kundalini energy, and it's going to move its way through the heart all the way up to the crown of the head. But what starts to happen, guys, is when you have this kundalini energy rising up, your heart opens, you become more loving automatically, right? You just feel more infinite love within yourself. You're able to give more love as well. Whatever you give, right, is proof of having. So when you start to give love, when you start to just do kind things for other people, that is a proof of having. So to really summarize all this and this current point, long-term semen retention streaks allow you to see and feel the inner fulfillment that is already within yourself. It magnifies itself. You just feel that so much easier and quicker if that's something you desire. All right, guys, so point number 3 is going to be you become more socially intelligent, calm, and confident, especially in social situations. I'm mainly talking about personal experience here, guys. Back in the day, I used to struggle with anxiety. I used to be very insecure in social situations. I would have crippling anxiety. I wasn't able to speak to women. I wasn't able to speak in big groups. I would just go shy, right? I was extremely shy back in the day. I can no longer imagine that. That's like a past self. It's truly unimaginable to me. And so is social anxiety. that actually as well. Back in the day, I used to struggle with that. I can no longer imagine struggling with any of that. Without a doubt, this has to do with me being on this journey for 5 years. Obviously, not just one straight line, right? Testing it out, but overall, making it a lifestyle, making SR a lifestyle has allowed me to become socially intelligent, socially confident, socially magnetic. I'm just flourishing in social situations now. Right, I can say what I want, I feel authentic. It's quite easy for me now to spark a connection with someone quite quickly, and it doesn't take any effort per se. Now, obviously, you need to build up your social skills, you need to put yourself out there, you might want to read certain books about this topic, but over time, man, it's like in social situations, man, you feel good. You just feel good. There's no anxiety. Your freaking perception of reality starts to change. The way you see the world starts to change. You just become a lot less self-conscious. You're not afraid anymore, right? It's unimaginable at that point. So really understand this, guys. And long-term semen retention streaks, I'm not saying this would just happen in one go. It's a gradual process, right? It takes time. It takes time to rewire your brain. It takes time to rewire the way you think and the way you see the world. It's a gradual process. It's going to take some time. But if you're very aware of this subtle process, you can see the milestones you're making throughout this journey. It's not like, let's say you're socially anxious, you struggle with anxiety, shyness, you feel insecure, right? Woman, for an example. It's not like out of nowhere you become this confident guy. It doesn't happen. But what you will see is tiny changes over time. Be very aware, because if you can pick up on that, it's like a tiny win, a small win, and you can build on those wins. It's like, oh, there's a little bit improvement there. That's great. So when you do this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? And every single week you see tiny improvements, in 5 years, in 1 year even, you'll be a different man. You will no longer recognize yourself. And I'm going to talk for personal experience as well, guys. Currently, I'm on an extremely long semen retention streak. And when I look back 1 year ago, I don't recognize myself anymore. I'm a changed man. I'm completely different. I'm tapping into a authenticity into myself I didn't know I had. I'm tapping into something I didn't know that was in me. The reason I'm able to tap into this energy, this power, this feeling empowered every single day is mainly because I'm on this long-term semen retention streak. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's say I would relapse, right? It's not that all of this would go away, because I've built up so much momentum at this time. Right, so the fourth point is going to be your insecurities will fade away over time. This actually links to part number 3, right? Certain problems you have now, certain struggles. Maybe you're hooked to certain things. Maybe you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, right? You're insecure about things. Maybe you're insecure about talking to girls. What you will notice over time, guys, is when you hop on this journey, these things will fade away over time. You just feel more inner strength within yourself, inner power. And you'll naturally stop focusing on these little insecurities, and you will start to focus on the empowered self. This is how you truly change, guys, and this is why semen retention is so powerful, because over time, you just feel, because you have so much self-control, right? If you really, by the way, if you are on a long-term semen retention streak, you are really starting to master your own sexual energy. You are no longer in the grip of your urges. You are overcoming and you are proving yourself that you have self-control, and that's going to give you a lot of confidence. Now, this is a little win, right? You are building confidence. Because you're building confidence, you generally feel more confident. Now, whenever there's a positive thought, you're way more likely to just say yes to that thought. That is me. I am that guy. I am that guy, that certain guy that maybe is in your mind now, but a part of you thinks I could never be that. So when you start stacking these small little wins over time, you just build up this confidence to truly feel within yourself of, yes, I am that guy. Because in our mind, there's always a next version. A lot of people don't even have this, but this next version is always like an improved version of ourselves. But where change really comes in is to realize that you are already that version. Embody it right now. Have the balls, have the courage to embody the new version right now. It's not going to happen in the future. You have to embody it right here, right now. And semen retention is going to help you with that. Right, so the fifth thing that's going to be happening to you is that you will naturally start to be able to express yourself authentically and without any fear. Now, all these points I'm laying out here, they happen very gradually, right? It's not just out of nowhere, ching, you're there. All of these points are very gradual on this journey. They don't just happen in one click. So please be aware of that whenever I'm pointing something out. Anyway, what's going to happen, guys, is that over time you will be able to express yourself authentically and without fear. You're able to be who you want to be. You're truly able to be like, yes, This is who I am. And if you don't like it, that's fine. That's totally fine. Because once again, guys, when you hop on this long-term semen retention streak, you start to build this energy within yourself. Your sexual energy. It's also your creative energy, as Napoleon Hill states. Your creative energy, guess what that is? That is your authentic expression. So certain things you want to express, they just come out. You have to do it because you have to transmute this sexual energy. It really becomes impossible not to speak your own mind. It really becomes impossible not to just fully own who you are without the fear of rejection, without the fear of certain people not liking you. Because what I've noticed in my own journey, when I really started to step into my own authenticity, is this is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that now you're actually going to get people that truly love you, right, for who you are. And you're also going to have a side of people that don't like you whatsoever. You're going to get a few quote-unquote haters, right? But that's great because the people that are around you right now, they love you for who you are. They are like, man, you're awesome, right? But if you're like not really authentic, what you will notice is that everyone kind of likes you. Oh yeah, that guy, oh, he's kind of nice. Yeah, you have no haters, but you need to have people that really are like, wow, they're kind of crazy about you, right? So that's something to notice, right? If you step into that authentic self, that's what's going to be happening. Right? So be okay. Be willing to get rejected by a few people. Because what's the point, right? I mean, just express your true self. And this rejection is fine and actually amazing because that just filters out the people that don't belong in your life. So number 6, guys, is that you start to build up a courage, a confidence, a self-assurance within yourself you never thought you had. And this, again, it comes gradually because what you're doing over time is you stack wins, you stack wins, you stack wins. And after you've been stacking wins for months and months and months and months, man, you build a confidence and a self-assurance, right? That is just, you just didn't think you had. It's like, it's out of your own awareness now. So you will start to build up the courage to act, to take certain risks, to do certain things you know you should be doing, but you normally just don't do. You procrastinate on. So the word confidence literally means to trust oneself. Now, to make this very practical, if you've been on this journey, if you are able to do a long-term semen retention streak, and you're telling yourself, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to bust the freaking nuts, right? And you actually do it, what does that build? Build trust in yourself. You build self-confidence. And this is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. So guess what, guys? If you are able to control your own sexual energy, life becomes easy. Because this is one of the most difficult things for a man to do this, to control this. So now you want to get fit, you want to go to the gym, you want to build muscle. It's going to be easy. It's peanuts. These things are going to be peanuts, right? Because if you're able to master this energy, you can truly do anything with it you want. So the 7th thing I started to realize, guys, and I've started to actually experience myself as well, is that you become magnetic in social situations. And the reason this is happening is because you vibrate in a very, very good energy. Little example, who doesn't want to be around a courageous person? Who doesn't want to be around an inspired person? Another one is, who doesn't want to be around passionate people? We are naturally drawn to passionate people because everyone loves passion. It's a feeling within yourself. It's an amazing feeling. And it just inspires other people. So the magnetism you feel is just a byproduct of the confidence, the courage, the self-expression you've built over time, right? You become more authentic. It's just a radar you have in your mind. Like subconsciously, you know, this guy's being authentic, this guy's not being authentic. And the inauthentic person, it's like, it kind of feels weird. You don't want to be around them. It's like, it's so like, I don't know. It's just not as nice. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. All right, point number 8, and I love this one, is that you will start to think bigger and your imagination is magnified. So what I mean with this is that you're just able to see yourself doing bigger things that normally you wouldn't even be aware of. Your mind just gravitates towards certain goals and certain ambitions and certain clarity. And you're like, you know what? I can actually do that. We all know it. You're in the shower and out of nowhere, you're like, I want to do this, right? But how many times you get an idea and you don't act on the idea? What you will notice is that you will just see yourself doing bigger and bigger and bigger things. You will naturally get ideas and your imagination is also a lot sharper. You would just imagine yourself doing certain things, and when you imagine yourself doing these things, you're like, hell yeah, I can freaking do that. That is totally possible. You're like, you kind of become unrealistic when it comes down to the goals you want to achieve. And that's an amazing thing, because one of the traits of successful people and people that achieve their goals is that there is a part of them is a little bit delusional. A part of them is like, practically, it's like, how in the freaking hell am I going to make this? But somehow they still believe they can. This is what's going to happen on semen retention. You're able to see yourself achieve certain goals and actually truly believe within your heart that you can do this. Because The reason I think this is happening is because you are connected to something higher when you do this. Your energy, your vibration is so high. You just tap into certain states, certain feelings that are so empowering and that are they feel so good, right? That you're like, I can freaking do this. I don't know how, but I trust it's going to be working. And I can talk from my own experience, guys. In many situations, I didn't know how something would turn out, how in the freaking world I was going to achieve it, but I just knew it. I just trusted. And the how, right? I didn't worry about it. It just came to me. I just followed my gut, followed my intuition while embodying the feeling of that goal. And what you will notice over time is if you just do what you feel you should be doing, right? It's just a gut feeling. Automatically the how is just going to reveal itself. All right, so number 9 is going to be that you overcome low-level emotions so much quicker. What's going to be happening, guys, if you constantly release your sexual energy too often, you become way more prone to low-level emotions like guilt, shame, apathy, unempowerment. You're way more likely to want to crawl up in your bed, not really show yourself. You're more prone to identifying with certain guilty thoughts, right? Because you have very low energy. You don't have the courage, you don't have the energy within yourself to even tap into these higher emotions. So what you will notice over time, guys, is that once you build up this energy on a long-term semen retention streak, whenever there's a guilty thought crossing your mind, it's like at a point you just no longer become interested in it because you start to vibrate and you start to embody a new default emotion. And the default emotion is basically the state you find yourself in most often. This is, for an example, why you see some people are always angry, right? Some people are just always angry no matter what. Yet another person, right, is always happy, is always courageous, is always feeling empowered, right? Their default setting is different. So when you hop on this journey, guys, you will start to notice that over time, gradually, your default setting starts to change. So let's say you're always in a place of guilt. You always doubt yourself. You always procrastinate. You always feel as if you're not good enough, right? Over time, you are able to tap into parts of yourself that does feel good enough, right? That does feel empowered, that does feel courage. And over time as well, right? The longer you do this emotion, let's say courage, it starts to feel very normal to you. And you just start to lose all interest in these guilty thoughts, shame thoughts, not feeling confident. It's like, I'm done with that. I no longer even want that. You see? And that's a byproduct of, once again, hopping on a long-term semen retention streak, guys. Last but not least, what's going to be happening, guys, is that your eyes, they start to be open. They start to be bright. You're actually able to connect to other people. And you don't have this, like, some people like to have this haze in front of their eyes. The eyes aren't open. You can see they're not really there. What starts to happen with semen retention is that your eyes are just bright open. You're able to connect with other people. And they just start to just be bright and shiny. And this is something I've really experienced myself as well. And we can actually link this to the work from David R. Hawkins. What he's saying is that the higher your vibration is, right, you will start to notice that these people, right, they have like these sparkly, bright, open eyes. And when you're in a very low state, like guilt, apathy, right, your eyes are more like dull, right? They're low. They're kind of like, you can't really connect to this person. And it's like, they're not really there, right? They're kind of looking like this. Like their eyes are just, they're not bright. They're not, right? It's literally dull. So that's something I've experienced myself as well, guys. It's just, you're wide open, right? It's wonderful. So guys, I truly hope this video helped. If you want to get extra help with this, I do one-on-one coaching, so you can book a call in the description link down below to see whether or not we're a fit. Guys, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.